Sports Afield magazine. The Shooting Sports America. Brought to you by Remington Arms, Blunt Sporting Equipment Division, and Chevy Truck.
Hi, I'm Grits Gresham, shooting editor of Sports Afield magazine. You know, I've been shooting for, well, more than a few years. And believe me, there's more going on in shooting sports today than I've ever seen before. New and exciting shooting games for practically everybody who likes to shoot or is thinking about getting started. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Today, I'm at the Champion Lake Gun Club in Houston, Texas, one of the really fine sporting clays ranges in the country. And with me is a man who has done more to promote sporting clays than anybody else, Bob Brister, shooting editor of Field and Stream magazine and an old hunting buddy of mine. Bob, how you doing?
Fine, Grits. How are you?
Good. Let's show these folks how to do it.
You got it.
Sporting clays is getting awfully popular all across the country, and you know, I get a lot of letters asking me just what is it? I know you do too. How do you answer?
Grits, I get a lot of mail too, and what I tell them is that this is simply just the closest they can come to making targets simulate live birds, game birds.
Well, you know, you and I have been in a lot of duck marshes together, and this could be one of them.
Yeah, it's very similar to this. That's the whole idea of sporting clay.
What are we going to get from here?
You're going to see a couple of targets dip right over that cypress tree that look just like teal buzzing a decoy.
Now, that sounds interesting. I want to see that.
All right.
Whoop! Oh, Bob, that is great. You know, I've never seen any shooting game that duplicated that particular shot.
No,
You know, ducks coming in like that.
The decoying shot is just not duplicated any other game. And you know, that is a tricky shot because they don't seem to be moving, just like ducks. But they are moving. They have to be flying.
And that's a shot that I have problems with.
Everybody, because you're shooting at something dropping out from under you.
Something I hear from hunters everywhere is how much shooting sporting clays helps their field shooting.
It's only natural that it would, because the only game I know of where you have to shoot high and low and long and short and all the different moves you have to make in hunting.
And boy, the gun mounting is important in sporting clays and field shooting.
Sure, because the rules require, in sporting clays, and U.S. rules require the gun to be off the shoulder. And someone starts out shooting, and first thing you know, they start out mounting this elbow out too far, and the gun comes up on the bicep, and they have to bring the head over. Can't hit anything. A little bit of practice sporting clays teaches you to shove forward with that front hand, lean slightly into the gun, and just pull it up into that shoulder pocket so that it just locks there, and now your rear sight is locked. May have to mount over here one time and over here one time. That's the beauty of it, just like hunting.
And if you miss that target, you can come back and try it again. You can learn to shoot that particular target.
You can learn your leads.
The bottom line in all this is that shooting sporting clays will make you a better, more successful hunter.
You know, Grits, one of the interesting things about this game is that the same gun you shoot in the field works here. Nothing special needed. Best score ever shot here was shot with an ordinary field-grade automatic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's no doubt that this is really a hunter's game. Another thing I like about it is that, you know, when shooting positions are in blinds like this. This could be a blind just like any of them that you and I have shot at off for years.
It's exactly that.
Let's see some targets.
All right.
Up. Never caught up.
I knew you would. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I was 2 feet behind.
I think that's a pretty deceptive target. It's moving pretty fast.
Up. Finally caught up with that one, but he was going away. If I had a good dog, I'd have gotten him. Pup! Oh, I told you to lead the birds.
Now, do you want me to smoke it?
Lead the birds.
Now, watch this one smoke, Grits.
All right. Yeah.
I want you to watch real carefully.
Yeah, you tell stories just like I do.
Pup!
Now, that's more like I taught you.
All right, I can smoke when I want to, you see. Now
That's-
you want to see that again?
That's the way I've been teaching you to shoot all these
Oh.
years. All right, now you finally got it down. Sporting clays really is a versatile game. You can set up one of these ranges just about anywhere in the country, taking advantage of the natural terrain no matter what it is. Could be in the mountains or along the seashore or just about anywhere. Okay, Bob, your time.
I think I can handle that angle, maybe. If it goes straight. Up.
It's interesting that you can set up these ranges so that they're so different. It's like going to a different golf course and playing it. No two are alike.
Yeah, and you can set up an awfully good sporting clays range with only 2 traps just by varying the position of the shooter in different ways, relationships to the target to get crossing or incoming or going away targets.
Nice pair.
Well, I just got lucky. You want to know the truth?
Looks like good bird country.
Why don't you give it a try?
Just like a covey of quail.
That's what these quail walks are like, but you know, a lot of those other targets are like doves or ducks, but every target in sporting clays has something to do with some kind of game.
All right, let me see you try this.
All right. I don't know about that second bird.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I don't know if a good dog would have got him or not.
You can set up these courses to represent any type of species, bird, even the rabbit. I love that rabbit run. You know, Bob, learning to shoot well is important, but learning to shoot safely is more important.
You bet it is. And this thing teaches you to use a gun in a hunting type situation and just becomes second nature to you to keep the gun open and safe.
You betcha. You know, the problem is that most people don't handle their guns very much during the year.
That's correct. And this game just makes it automatic to have a safe gun.
One thing I've noticed, every sporting clays range emphasizes gun safety at every position.
You know, Grits, sporting clays is not just practice. It's actually turning out to be a wonderful competitive game. And there's a circuit of shoots developing all over the United States. People are enjoying the competition. Anyone can do it. And some of the best shots are turning out to be hunters and field shooters rather than previous clay target shooters.
We started out 3 years ago in our first state championship, and we had 60 shooters. They were all local shooters. Now we're bringing in, 10 or so different states, a couple different countries. We're also bringing in more women and children, so it's starting to grow. It's getting real big.
Sporting clays layouts vary with the terrain that is available in the state to which the club is at, but basically there's a format that most of the clubs use, and certain positions are the same no matter where you go.
And generally the course will come close to resembling what the birds are for that particular territory. If you're shooting a lot of ducks in that area, then generally a lot of the targets will be incoming. If a lot of your birds that are hunted in that particular area are going to be quail or grouse or something like that are birds that get up low and fly away, then you'll do that. If it's a dove hunting area, there'll be a lot of crossing shots.
I hunt mostly quail and dove, and as opposed to trap and skeet shooting where you basically stay in one position, the sporting clays, you get all the different angles like you do in actual field situations, and I find that it really helps me. I make a point to go out to the range and shoot a good bit right before the season starts in September.
Oh. Beautiful. Good.
We've got some youngsters that are pushing us, the elder shooters now, and as soon as they get a little more age on them, a little more competition experience, they're going to give the older shooters a real tough time.
Cool.
Yeah, I started hunting when I was 5, and I just started shooting sporting clays, and I love it.
There are some tough youngsters out here, and they're going to be somebody to be reckoned with here shortly. In the next few years, we're going to see a lot of good shooters coming up.
5, 4, 3,
3, 2, 1, go! It's 13.5 ounces. It's a heavy gun. You start shooting from the standing position after running 4 miles, it's going to be heavy. Go!
Make sure your safety's off. Believe me, nothing's worse than trying to squeeze the trigger with the safety on. Okay. Go! You should aim right at the 6 o'clock position of the yellow dot.
Once again, we'll hand you one round. You'll drop it in, close the bolt, and squeeze the shot off at the end of the breath.
Go!
If you're wondering what running has to do with the shooting sports, you're probably asking the same question that's going through the minds of these joggers in Memphis, Tennessee. You see, they're in the opening stage of a first-of-its-kind event in America, and there's a whole lot more in store for them than 5 miles of pavement. These runners are participating in this country's inaugural summer biathlon competition, a unique event that combines running with target shooting. In a sense, this isn't actually a new sport, but a variation of traditional biathlon, one of the most demanding Winter Olympic events, in which competitors race against the clock both on cross-country skis and at the shooting range. In this first American summer event, sponsored by the United States Biathlon Association, competitors begin by running a 2-mile course which brings them to the shooting area. They must then pick up a rifle and try to hit 5 targets smaller than cup saucers, all while the clock is still running. Now, if you're wondering what that's like, well, imagine trying to shoot a round of skeet while riding a unicycle.
I missed that.
You have to use a strategy where if you run all out, you're going to be so out of breath that it's going to take you longer to compose yourself to get steady to shoot. So, you know, it takes a little bit of strategy planning. Me and my friends talked about that before we did it.
Action open.
After shooting their first round, competitors must run another 2 miles, shoot again, and then race 1 more mile to the finish. Of course, for Josh Thompson, summer biathlon isn't exactly new. Josh is one of America's top biathletes, and when he won the silver medal at the 1987 World Championships in Lake Placid, he became the first American to ever win a medal in World Biathlon competition.
Different. It was a lot more grueling than I had thought, because when you stop to shoot, you have to hold your breath when you normally would be, you know, taking in air, and you do just the opposite.
There's a whole new physiology involved in it. You know, you have to run the 2 miles, you get the blood going to your muscles, then you come in and stop, you're standing still. So now you have all the blood going through your skin to cool you down, then you start up again, and your muscles don't have the blood, or certainly in a level of decreased oxygen levels. So you go into an area of anaerobic respiration. It's really challenging. I think the people that were controlling the firing line were super. The support people out on the course, real fine. Super job for your first time.
We got 8 out of 10, but would love to have 10 out of 10.
You got 5 out of 10?
Don't even ask. Don't even ask.
It was really fun. I like the shooting better than the running. No Annie Oakley, but it was fun.
The hardest part was just trying to keep my glasses from fogging up. That was the most difficult.
Here we have some of the fastest runners come in, but depending on how they shoot will depend on their final placing.
Yeah, thanks.
Josh Thompson wasn't the only top U.S. biathlete at this event. Holly Beatty-Farr, another medal winner in World Cup competition, also participated. And after the race, Bob Delphi, executive director of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, got a chance to talk with her about this exciting new sport.
Do you think that this might help the U.S. biathlon team discover some
winter biathletes from parts of the country where skiing isn't normal?
Yeah, I think there's definite potential there, and we need it. We need a broader base of athletes.
You're not afraid that some of these people might get so good they'll bump you from the team?
I think the more competition, the better, actually.
Good attitude.
Good job. Don't even get a handshake?
Oh, Moving on to the 30-39 category.
So whether you're aiming for the Olympics or looking to add a new and exciting dimension to your running game, summer biathlon might just be for you.
Loved it. Love to do it again.
If there's another one here, I intend to try it again.
As we've seen, challenge comes in many forms in the shooting sports. And if you're a handgunner, the Masters Invitational, held each summer in Barry, Illinois, offers as much of a challenge as any handgun competitor would like to face. I'm here today with Tom Campbell, an excellent handgun shooter and technical director for Smith & Wesson. How did you happen to pick these particular events for this competition?
Well, we're trying to solve that old question of who really is the best pistol shooter in the world. So we've combined precision, action, and the long-range shooting disciplines, put them all together in one major tournament, and we will find out who really is the top gun of the world.
Can we take a closer look?
Sure we can. Follow me.
Shooters ready? Stand by.
Grits, the precision event is without a doubt the toughest of the three matches at the Masters. It requires a shooter to be extremely precise. There's little to no margin for error here. The targets are only 4 inches for the 25-yard targets and 1.7 inches for the 50-yard targets. Very, very difficult, and it's been the downfall of a lot of shooters here at the Masters.
You know, in shooting like this, you've got to have great trigger squeeze, great breath control, and intense concentration.
It is definitely a mental game standing out there by yourself on your hind 2 feet with a gun in only one hand. Makes it very, very difficult. All the other events at the Masters, you can use 2 hands, which is a tremendous crutch. You can't come to the Masters and expect to win if you don't know how to shoot the 22 in a precision match. As we say, you got to stand up on your hind 2 legs and shoot like a man. The action shooting event is without a doubt the most popular and exciting of all the matches that we have here. It's the fast draw craze that used to be very popular in this country, and now we've made it considerably more sophisticated. The equipment has changed, and the speeds are unbelievable. What we're asking the shooter to do is to draw the gun from the holster and as fast as he possibly can knock down the steel plates downrange. It combines speed and accuracy, and it's very difficult to do properly, but it is quite exciting for shooter and spectator alike.
Well, you're probably the best. How about a demonstration?
I'd be happy to.
Stand by.
Man, do you make it look easy? 5 of them in 2.75 seconds.
Well, it's not that hard, Grits. All you have to do is watch the sight, line them up properly on the plate, and press the trigger. Okay, Grits, let me give you a few pointers here. We're trying to shoot this gun real quickly and accurately, so it always helps if we have the gun hand as high as possible on the gun, and also we take the non-shooting hand, the support hand, and put it parallel to the shooting hand. Firm, solid grip. We want to bring this finger down right underneath. That's it, right there. Solid grip.
That feels better.
Doesn't that feel better? Okay, we're trying to shoot this gun quickly, remember? So we have to be in total control of it. We want the arm straight. That's it, nice and locked out. And we want the body weight forward. Now, with that type of position, you will be able to control this gun while shooting it extremely fast.
That makes sense.
Doesn't it? We'll reset the targets for you.
I'm at a disadvantage with a revolver, right?
Well, slight disadvantage. Most of the competitors will use a semi-automatic pistol just because it's a lot easier to control the gun and get the shots off quickly. But the revolver is still competitive here because we allow only a maximum of 6 shots to be fired at the 5 plates. So you can only afford to miss once.
And there's no penalty for using a 6 shot. If you get to
there isn't.
Just time.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Should I give it a go?
Go ahead.
How about them apples? You like that, huh? I like that. Yay!
That was good.
How about
Very
that?
Good. Very good. You missed the first shot, and then you found the front sight for the rest of them, and you didn't have any problem.
How about this other bank over there?
Want to try those?
Yeah.
Grits, this event is known as the square dance. It's a very exciting match that requires speed and accuracy, plus strategy on the shooter's part.
Well, you got to think about this.
Sure do.
You know, this is really fun. It reminds me of the old carnival shooting galleries where you see things fall over and you hear the sound. And I think that's where the appeal lies for spectators and shooters, too.
That's why this match is always the most popular at the Masters.
I'd like to try this.
There we go.
Boy, that's fun. Boy, it really is fun. And it's interesting to me that the speeds are so much better than they were back when the cowboys were shooting.
Well, of course, you have to remember that a lot of that was Hollywood. And when they drew the gun that quickly and shot from the hip, they didn't hit much.
This is my first Masters. We were here last year. I watched my husband shoot last year, and this is my first year competing in the Masters. A lot of fun.
Shooters, you have 30 seconds to load and make ready.
The long-range event is an event that challenges the shooter's abilities at very long distances with a handgun. We're talking ranges from 75 meters to 200 meters, twice the length of a football field. Targets that are 6 inches in diameter, up to 12 inches in diameter. Very, very difficult sport.
You will engage 10 targets alternately, close to far, in 90 seconds.
I'm seeing some awfully sophisticated, unusual handguns out there being used in this thing, too, in some very sophisticated different positions.
That is true. Because we've made it a competitive event with very few rules, we're seeing some very exotic machinery out there.
You know, there are millions of people hunting with handguns now, and these shooters out here show what can be done with a handgun out at pretty long distance.
It is amazing, you're right.
It's great practice for handgun hunting, too, because you get to find out exactly what your pistol will do.
Stand by.
And get to practice with it at these ranges where you don't normally shoot. Precision, speed, and long-range shooting. Each event itself is a real test for any handgunner's skills. Put them all together, and you really do have the ultimate handgunning challenge. And the winner can certainly claim the title, Best All-Round Handgunner in the country. As we've seen, there's a lot going on in shooting sports today. New game is just filled with action and excitement for rifle, shotgun, and handgun. So if you're an active shooter or just getting started, there's something out there for you and your whole family. That's one of the great things about shooting. It truly is a lifetime sport.
The Shooting Sports, America. Brought to you by Ruger, Thompson Center, and Sports Afield magazine.
There we go. Boy, that's fun.